Hi, welcome again to ThinkTalk. My name is Ian Dilia. I used to say that fiction books are a waste of time, na for entertainment lang sila and wala akong matututunan sa kanila. Nagbago yun nung nabasa ko yung unang fiction book na nabasa ko in almost a decade. Natapos ko yung book 5 weeks ago pero I still think about it until this day. Of all the resources I consumed in that area of knowledge I'm trying to get informed at, that fiction book is hands down the most impactful. Nagde-decide ako kung ano yung librong babasahin by researching kung ano yung mga best books sa isang topic that I'm interested in. Marami akong interests and I get new ones on a regular basis. There was a time when I got interested in art valuation and may isang beses sa botany, and one time I was interested in learning a new language. So I tried to study Mandarin. Last December, I challenged myself if I could pass the HSK Level 2, ito yung language proficiency test sa Mandarin, with only 3 weeks of study. And it was successful. I'll tell you about it in a future video. Going back, I decide what books to read based on a new or a revisited interest on a topic. Sa iba namang pagkakataon, nagde-decide ako sa libro na babasahin kung ano yung kailangan ko na skill na i-improve para sa trabaho ko or sa kung ano yung dapat kong gawin. I became a born-again Christian 2 years ago, and since then, hindi na ako tumigil trying to understand my faith in an intellectual level. This is important to me because I'm a thinking inclined person. Strengthening my faith in God does not only mean feeling His presence and believing in Him and His promises. Although I agree na doon nanggagaling yung faith sa inability natin to completely rationalize the existence of God, but God is more than that. Kasi kapag tinanggap natin na hindi natin ma-rationalize si God, then magko-conclude yung utak natin na irrational si God. Hence, yung mga ginagawa niya for us, lalong hindi natin maiintindihan. He does not live in another dimension. He's with us, kasama niya tayo, kasama natin siya. He created the world we live in, and it is our responsibility to understand the whole dynamic of our existence. We live in an increasingly agnostic and atheistic world. So more and more people are now actively trying to debunk the existence of God or just Christianity. I feel it's my job as a Christian to disprove the disprovals against my faith, but only when necessary. Isang specific na subtopic sa Christian theology is the idea of heaven and hell. Do they exist? Are they physical places? Did the Bible really talk about them? I won't go into answering these questions in this video. It's gonna take me hours to lay everything down. Pero kung interesado ka na malaman yung mga sagot dito, you can send me a message and I'll share you a list of my resources para makapag-research ka din on your own. So, this fiction book by C.S. Lewis used the craft of fiction writing to paint a metaphorical picture of heaven and hell. I want you to read this book so I won't spoil anything. But the big idea of Great Divorce is a question. And that question is, what if when we die, may kapangyarihan tayo para pumili kung magsistay ba tayo sa hell or sa heaven? Sa unang tingin, it's a no-brainer. Sino ba naman yung gustong magstay sa hell? But that's exactly what's happening right now. As we live today, as I live today, as you live today, we are choosing to suffer in hell. Sabi ni C.S. Lewis, hell begins with a grumbling mood, always complaining, always blaming others, but you are still distinct from it. You may even criticize it in yourself and wish you could stop it, but there may come a day when you can no longer. Then there will be no you left to criticize the mood or even to enjoy it, but just the grumble itself, going on forever like a machine. It is not a question of God sending us to hell. In each of us there is something growing, which will be hell unless it is nipped in the bud. It's the things that we put before God. These are the things that we choose. Each of us has our own version of hell, yung mga bagay na hindi natin mabitawan or pinipili nating hindi bitawan. The most terrifying thing about this is our hell comes in good packaging, as also portrayed in The Great Divorce. Just like how sin feels good at first and immediately after we do it. But afterward, we suffer from guilt and sinisisi pa natin yung ibang tao for falling into sin. Sometimes we even blame God. This may only raise a lot of questions for you, but it answered a lot for me. It fortified the idea of the previous resources I consumed on the idea of sin and hell. While I got technically more information from non-fiction books, it was the fiction book that secured the learning for me. I don't think makakalimutan ko ever yung story ng The Great Divorce, and it will have an impact on the things that I will read in the future. Looking back, siguro nakalimutan ko na yung mga 70% ng mga nabasa ko sa lahat ng non-fiction books sa buong buhay ko. They say that humans process information in a narrative or through a story. There's a beginning, there's a string of events, and there's an end. This is even when information is not presented in the narrative. Tapos, most non-fiction books are written like a textbook with little to no story. Don't get me wrong, okay ang non-fiction books, they serve their purpose. And I'm still going to read more non-fiction books than fiction books. It just feels bad that I deprived myself of this art form for almost a decade just because I thought wrong about it. More than the lessons na na-instill sa akin ng The Great Divorce, reading it is an amazing experience. I'm quite a slow reader. Yung pinakamaraming books na nabasa ko in a week is 3 books, and hindi ko na siya ulitin kasi wala na akong ibang nagawa dun sa linggo na yun. Nagbasa lang ako ng nagbasa. Pero natapos ko yung The Great Divorce in just 2 days kasi sobrang engrossed ko dun sa story. Sa non-fiction books kasi, pwede ko silang ibaba anytime, tapos basahin ko na lang ulit anytime kasi wala naman akong istorya na fina-follow. Pero with the novel, so The Great Divorce is actually a novel, ang hirap niya ibaba. It almost physically hurts to put it down kasi gusto ko nang malaman yung susunod na mangyari and gusto ko malaman immediately. I have a great appreciation for books. Naniniwala ako na essential sila sa survival ng humanity across generations. Hindi lang physical survival but also the survival of ideas, the stories, the experiences ng mga tao na naglakad or naglalakad sa mundong ginagalawan natin ngayon. I will now be talking to the non-fiction readers, yung mga mostly nagbabasa ng non-fiction and yung mga iniiwasan yung fiction books. Kasi ito yung group of people na naiintindihan ko, yung mas makaka-relate ako with and yung mas makaka-relate sa akin. Kung nagbabasa ka ng non-fiction books exclusively kasi tingin mo yung fiction books are a waste of your time and wala kang matututunan sa kanila, you are very wrong. I don't think you should deprive yourself of an experience just because a business guru told you that it's a waste of time. Kung napansin nyo, wala akong sinabi sa inyo na suggestion kung ano yung gagawin nyo sa information na nakuha ko from The Great Divorce. I will also not tell you what to do and what not to do. These are recommendations at best. I only gave you the information. It's up to you what you're going to do with it. And that's it for today's video. As you noticed, siguro medyo maikli yung video natin ngayon. This is because I want to try a new format on this channel. Gusto ko kasi gawin yung YouTube channel na to as data-driven as possible. And isa pa, yung analytics, sinasabi din niya sa akin na 70% of you guys who are watching this hindi nakasubscribe sa channel. So I'm inviting you to like the video, subscribe, and share nyo rin sa friends nyo so you can help normalize thinking among Filipinos.